the third time this season, it's Hartford Athletic and Loudoun United FC, a matchup in Group F at Dillon Stadium, presented by Railroad Stores. As we welcome you into USL Championship Soccer alongside Devin Kerr, Spencer Siegel here with you. And to start for the night, we report on something that happened earlier in the week with Hartford head coach Radi Jaidi. A statement released by Hartford saying that they've been made aware of allegations by the USLPA of an incident on the training ground on August 10th, and they take those allegations very seriously. Upon receiving that information, they conducted a thorough review that included interviews with players and staff, including Coach Jaidi. The investigation concluded that there was no evidence of misconduct, and Hartford is cooperating with the USL to complete the external review in accordance with league protocols. And he's on the touchline today. And for Hartford Athletic, who are 4-0 at home, Devin, they try to keep things rolling with a chance. A win would put them at the top of Group F.
Always a good look, especially because they'll have 5 out of the next 6. And when you take a look at what they've been able to do, Spencer, on the offensive side of the ball, 14 goals gets them T4 in the East. The company that they keep, we'll get to in a second. You're looking at a team that has turned everything around, whether it be the coaching, personnel, their ability to put the ball in the back of the net has taken another step to a next level. They're already 30% of the way there to their total in 2019. And this is exactly who they're competing with. Look at Indy 11. Of course, everybody wants to talk about Tyler Pasher, Bruno Lapa, the Birmingham Legion, and of course, Canardo Forbes, the Riverhounds. But they are right there in the pecking order, Hartford Athletic. And oh, by the way, 3 games in hand. They win all 3. They're the best in the East.
Yeah, there's 2 sides to that coin, right? Because they've only played 1 game against those 4 teams, and it was a 4-1 loss to Indy 11, but they will have a chance against Pittsburgh 3 games down the stretch to prove themselves. Meanwhile, you look at our player to watch tonight, presented by Univision. Tyreek Johnson scored a beauty of a goal against Loudoun last time out.
As good as it was, they need him to do better. Radi Jaidi understands the talent coming over from Southampton. Saw him obviously regularly as the U23 head coach, and he's brought him over to nurture that. You've gotten good stuff out of Alex Dixon. Danny Barrera playing at another level right now, and the wingers in Swartz and Torres have gotten involved. Now it's Tyreek Johnson's turn.
We've got kickoff on the other side. Should be a good one tonight. Don't go anywhere. We've got it for you. Next.
An office, a classroom, a gym. These days, your home is many things. And at Trinity Health of New England, we make it your personal setting for quality care. Our virtual care makes it easy to consult with your primary care provider, your child's pediatrician, or an urgent care provider from wherever you are. Get started at trinityhealthofne.org/virtual, because wellness shouldn't wait. Trinity Health of New England. Virtual care anywhere.
Where some see a baker, I see an artist. I see Bridget of Bridget's Bake Shop, a Monet of muffins, a Cézanne of scones, a Leonardo of layer cakes. Bridget is a small business owner. Me, I'm the Hartford Buck, and I see nothing small about your small business.
With insurance designed for your small business, the Buck's got your back.
Ready to get that just worked out feeling? Planet Fitness is open and cleaner than ever. At some places, this is a power clean. But at Planet Fitness, this is a power clean. At some places, this is your workout space. But at Planet Fitness, you'll have all the space with extra room between machines. So while other places might consider this a warm welcome, we're ready to welcome you with one of these. Now open. Come in today.
Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to our presenting partner of today's match, Global Atlantic Financial Group. And as we get you ready for kickoff, It's time to check out our starting lineups. First for Hartford, brought to you by Active MG. And for Hartford, you see the two up top, Johnson and Dixon will try to score the goals. The three in the back. Happy birthday, Sam Strong.
No changes to the team that took down New York Red Bull 2 on August 15th, and why would you? Roddy JD has gotten these guys going in the right direction. It's very much at the point of wash, rinse, repeat, and as Spencer Siegel mentioned, an opportunity to take down Pittsburgh Riverhounds right around the quarter. But 90 minutes first against a very talented Ryan Martin squad in Loudoun United. He is going to make some changes. It's going to be 4 in total. Simone Lefeve, the highly talented goalkeeper coming out of Temple that was drafted by DC United, actually ended up being picked up by Loudoun. He'll get his debut. And Michael Gamble really would like to see a bit more at him in the 10 spot. Jeremy Garay will control the midfield, but for me, the player to watch that you have to keep an eye on is Elvis Amo, wearing the number 7. They used to use him out on the wing. He played in the 9. Since transitioning down into the midfield, he's been great. Scored 3 out of 4 goals that Loudoun United have put in the back of the net. All 3 have come from the spot, though, Spencer, and it's time for him to take this team to another level. You want to start competing, get back into this. You need a building block to give you some confidence. That man can get it done for you.
Well, for the 3rd of 4 times this season, Loudoun United and Hartford Athletic do battle. Hartford having taken the first 2 in this matchup, with Loudoun in the red and Hartford in the green and blue. Take a look at our mission objectives presented by U.S. Army. And Devin, I'll let you explain tunnel vision.
It's got to stay focused on the task at hand. And I just mentioned how, yes, they have an opportunity to compete with the best in the East, and the likes of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds struggled against Indy. And with everything going on off the field right now, you got to stay focused. You need to control what you can control, and all that is right now is the game against Loudoun. Go out, put together a quality performance, and then move on to the next opponent. Control what you're capable of. For Loudoun, it's building blocks. There's not a lot of positive things to talk about. They've struggled in their performances. However, their second half against Pittsburgh Riverhounds down to 10 men, pretty impressive, actually. And so you take the little things that are given to you and you build on that. It's not going to be easy. You're on the road, you're young, you've been beaten up a little bit, but they're hungry. Fuel that fire if you're Ryan Martin and find a way to go out and get a positive result.
Yeah, that was Nelson Martinez who picked up his 2nd yellow just before the end of the first half. That was a game where in that first half, despite allowing 2 early goals, they were on the front foot often. The front 3 of Endor, Amustafa, and Thibaut Doué, who's not in the lineup tonight, really gave them chances, and it was all about finding that one last piece of quality to put those chances home. Ryan Martin has talked at length about it, and his biggest emphasis in creating those chances is once we get one, it should turn into a domino effect, and you'll see more coming. Again, Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to our presenting partner of today's match, Global Atlantic Financial Group. Matchup in Group F. Pittsburgh drew last night with St. Louis. Over the top. And now into the middle. It's cleared away by Mel. This is Gabrielle Torres. Johnson to his right. Torres, one too many touches. Dug out by Amo. Turn right back over. A chance to run. Here comes Dixon. Ryan Martin emphasized for Loudoun that this team plays very similar to Pittsburgh, who they played on the weekend, and that getting out on the front foot early is a point of emphasis. Pressing high, which they haven't had a chance yet to do.
Struggled against Hartford Athletic in getting that early start, Spencer, where outside of the fact that Hartford has their number 4 all time against the home squad, 5 goals that Hartford have scored have been in the opening 10 minutes against Loudoun, so even more so. All goes back to that confidence that we talked about.
Well, it's also just tough to see goals coming at all. 4 goals for Loudoun so far in 6 games. That's tied for the fewest in the USL. Timbers 2 scored a goal yesterday, so it's only Loudoun and North Carolina FC who have yet to get to 5 on the season.
The biggest difference between those two clubs, Dave Sarikic's boys in North Carolina FC and Loudoun, is they're creating. Loudoun's not really doing that much of it, and you will see some decent play coming off the back line. Good hold-up play. There's one of the men we're talking about, Jeremy Garay. Elvis Simone can distribute, but got to find a way to get that man involved going forward.
Endor finds Gamble. Green can't track it down. It's been a fantastic day so far of football. If you're a football fan, UCL final. 1-0 to Bayern as they win their 6th Champions League trophy. Plucked away by Torres. Herrera looking for help, turns it over. Mustafa, he can run. Look at him go. One too many touches in the end. Jorgensen turns with it. Also want to give a special shout out. The sympathy is felt over in Girona. They lost today in the promotion playoff final to try and get to La Liga. Elche with a goal in the 96th minute. There's really no worse feeling, but to those in Elche, congratulations to them. I know we have some folks in Girona watching along. This is, of course, the international game. Happy to have you along from wherever you are. Welcome you to Dillon Stadium. Here's Dixon. So far, Loudoun looking for ways to get out of their defensive third. Gamble pushes it forward just too much for Endor. What's the key for Loudoun to create that final pass, that last release?
The good news for them is they're going to have space to play in behind the outside wingbacks, the likes of Harry Swartz and Gabrielle Torres on the left-hand side. The quickness in their transition is going to be the main focal point for them, where you have the likes of Alioune Endor, Mustafa, a lot of speed. You've already seen a quick explosion on that right-hand side. The question is when they're playing out of the back, a little step and they challenge. Can they go fast enough to go after Hartford Athletic? They can knock it around, quality possession, but when they turn up the tempo, is the clinical play going to be present for Ryan Martin's squad? They've struggled with it recently. We already talked about their inability to score and some of the teams that they played against. But to the match against the Riverhounds, it is a similar scouting report. Now, Bob Lilly's team, they play different. Tend to sit a bit more. You get steps out of the back line, coming off anyway. Here's the speed we're talking about.
Mustafa has bodies in the middle and instead makes the wrong decision. He goes down in the box. Only as far as Amo as Green works it up the left flank. Now Gamble. Two defenders on him, and he tries to take them both on. Jorgensen strong to hold off Gamble. Dixon comes all the way back to win it. Hartford Athletic would like to extend a thank you to our title partner, Trinity Health of New England, and a special thank you to all of the healthcare workers, first responders, cleaning staff, and everyone who has worked tirelessly and selflessly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Arthur Rogers. Herrera, now Harry Swartz. Closed down quickly by Garay.
Little switch already by Ryan Martin. He's brought Michael Gamble out of the center of the park over to this left-hand side. Josh Fawole will step into the interior. It's a luxury that you have with the younger players. You're trying to showcase some of your expert tutelage Ryan Martin is capable of.
Dixon keeps it. Gets it inside, and it's finally cleared at the last second.
Did keep them comfortable as well. Such a difficult thing to do. Everybody's so young. International players coming into the squad out. Not as much rotation as you've seen from Loudoun, of course, with MLS is back and the quarantine going on because of COVID-19. Guys like Griffin Yao and Moses Nyman staying with DC instead of here with Ryan Martin.
Served in. Missed everybody, and it's out for a goal kick. Possession you talked about for Loudoun, it's something that the first 4 games of this season, they actually won the possession in those games. Now over their last 2, in their losses to Pittsburgh, it's been a case of just trying to get on the ball a little more as Endor couldn't track it down. Mustafa does. He commits a foul in the process. Talked last week at length about Kairu Amustafa and his travels here. We'll get a little more into it later in this half. About the extreme journey he took to get from Niger, basically traveled all across Africa to wind up in Loudoun County.
This is going to be the big challenge for them in midfield with Jeremy Gray coming really deep. Hartford Athletic, they won't press you all game long, but they will step here and there, and they'll test you with your 2 holding midfielders in Nova Samoa and Jeremy Gray. The double pivot is going to be difficult when you have the likes of Barrera, Rogers, and Mass Jorgensen willing to all step at any point in time. Of course, Eric Johnson, Alex Dixon will step down and help out, and that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. Look at Danny Barrera playing such a high line, and Elvis Samo just sitting quietly all the way on the other side behind Arthur Rogers. Link-up play, very difficult to do in the crowded midfield of Hartford Athletics, so that's where the pivot point has to be different. Drag one player if you're Jeremy Garay, and Elvis Samo has to drop deeper, play off of each other. It's that little quick go that you have to be much better at when you play Jaidi squads.
Here is Amo. Out wide, Savaria. 19-year-old from Alexandria. Low cross into the box. Cut out by Rogers. Haven't found the identity to this game yet at its first 10 minutes. I don't think we've had a shot yet.
Normally you get everybody starting to feel each other out, but even for Hartford Athletic, their MO recently has been really pedal to the metal. At least to try and set an opening tempo. They will slow things down. But finding your playmakers, and Harry Swartz, there you go, Dixon, this is what they want.
Swartz says very few bodies in the box. He manages to pick out Jorgensen. It's still not cleared. Savaria gets it clear only as far as Barrera. Fawole gets involved. And Mustafa will turn and burn. He sees the run of Gamble, who's got Endor to his right. Michael Gamble by himself, deflected, and out for a corner kick. Parfait Mandanda was onto it, and he had to make the save.
I mentioned the quick transition could prove quite lively if Loudoun United could figure out how to get it going. Loads of space down in the channel, and the quick little cut inside. Michael Gamble so comfortable on the interior of the field, and he tries to pick the far post out. I have no problem with it at all. Go after the goalkeeper. Hasn't been tested much, Mandanda. When called upon, been fantastic, but you have to challenge him.
Michael Gamble has played every game so far. Garay will head for the far post. Mandanda bobbled it. Fawole couldn't get to it, and Mandanda had it in his grasp, and our referee, Thomas Snyder, will send play in the other direction. Special thank you to our founding partners at the Hartford for their continued support of Hartford Athletic. To get another look at the replay, you see the jersey tugged by Amo. Hartford is helping Hartford Athletic and the CIAC recognize high school teams representing excellence and teamwork on and off the field as part of the new High School Team of the Week program. Congratulations to this week's winners, North Branford High School softball. Endor is onside. He flicks it up for Fawole, who goes down. Again, Hartford forced to scramble back, and now they'll look to go in the other direction. The game is wide open all of a sudden.
Just keep an eye on Loudoun United as they start to pick it up here and get in behind. Can their defensive shape hold? Hartford Athletic will pick you apart. You want to send guys forward, that's the move, 100%. But Ryan Martin already employing his team from the sideline. You have to go together as a cohesive unit. It's a pretty good little look, although they weren't able to capitalize on it by Hartford Athletic. Quick transition the other direction. Loads of space to work with. You have to rely on the back line, Timmy Melt. Of course, your debut goalkeeper, who's more than capable of getting the job done, of communicating right, Lefeve, and just saying, guys, come on, we all got to step together, even if it's an offensive movement.
Here they come again. Fawole does find Mustafa, deflected by Paulitz. Garay out wide for Jacob Green. Now Gamble, not strong enough to get back to Green, who then has to retreat to get back into position. He and Sam Strong battling. Strong with a beautiful over-the-top pass. It finds Dixon's feet. He slips and recovers. Alex Dixon, and that's the first save in the professional career of Simone Lefeve. Making his first start in place of Colin Miller, who had played every minute so far this season for Loudoun. Endor, that was ambitious. Argenson turns it over. Midfield so far for Hartford has struggled to link up to the top two in Dixon and Tyreek Johnson, who's barely touched the ball so far. Garay has been one of Loudoun's best passers, and that was just too far, intended for Mustafa.
Not a bad build-up by Hartford Athletic, exactly what I was talking about. Well done on the step by Stam Strong coming out of the back, and look at all the space that Alex Dixon has. Even with the slip, he's got an opportunity. Shane Wheat just sliding over there. But the debut for Simone Lefeve.
6'9", must be nice. He's from France. Just got out of quarantine. It's his first training session. That was Thursday. So he's only been able to train with the team for 3 days. When you try to integrate yourself into a team of 11 on the pitch as a keeper, what's the easiest way to make that happen on such short notice?
Make a save. It's simple as that. Your performance will speak for itself, especially with the lack of training. The good news is, and I say this respectfully to all our netminders out there, most goalkeepers are crazy. I mean, you're nuts to stand in between the 8x8 and let somebody pound a ball at you over 100 miles an hour. So they've already got your respect. But just as he did, Alex Dixon carries a massive amount of intelligence within his playing circle, and people have an admiration for him. So quick little one-on-one cut across the body. As you mentioned, pretty tall in stature for Lefeve, but Simone more than capable of getting down low and making those saves, and you'll get the trust of your center backs. Everybody else will start to follow, and that can breed confidence for this team going forward.
I find it very easy to believe that Gary Bailey would agree with you in the sanity of all goalkeepers. One of our USL analysts out there who's on the only other game tonight, Miami FC. Back at home against Charlotte. 12 games yesterday in what is a fast-moving 2020 season in the USL. It's a sprint, it's not a marathon, and we're over halfway there. First opportunity for Hartford to set things up and perhaps find some service into the box.
Get a good look. They are going to allow Sam Strong to come up. Kevin Pollitt's, of course, grabbing his first goal for Hartford Athletic. He matches back. Sam Strong finally back from injury and getting him healthy. Lovely headgear that he was donning previously.
And scored against Red Bulls 2 last weekend in the 2-1 win. Had himself a tap in, proved to be the winning goal. Barrera will send it in. Nobody was there for it for Hartford. And it's cleared away once again. Danny Barrera, who leads this team and is in the top 5 in the USL in assists this year, 6 of them. Normally, through 6 games, you would think that's good to lead the league, but Solomon Asante and Canardo Forbes are on another level right now, the way that they're distributing in such a shortened season. Touched Fawole's phalanges. See Strong's headgear. 24th birthday today for Sam Strong. Last year when he played with Fresno, head coach Adam Smith called him very strong and athletic. And you can see it as he commits the foul, although he might disagree.
It's a fun battle between Loudoun and Dor and Sam Strong in that back line. Remember the 3, and Mateus Silva, Kevin Pollitt, and Sam Strong. They will flatten themselves out. They want to allow Gabrielle Torres and Harry Swartz to play a high line, be involved in the attack moving forward. You'll actually see some supplementation in the likes of Nash Jorgensen and Arthur Rogers step back to help out more so than outside on the wings. They like to pinch. They're making Loudoun United work for every inch right now. Love to see more out of the wings and out Mustafa and Gamble. They're having trouble tracking the attacking movements on both sides of the field for Hartford Athletic. There's a good little chance for them to reestablish some rhythm up top.
Both Garay and Gamble stand over it. It's Garay, gets it in, it's headed on, and Loudoun strike first at Dillon Stadium tonight.
Sometimes this is all you need in traffic. Shane Wheat coming off the back line. Well done here. 6'3". We talked about the goalkeeper, Timmy Mell, back there, 6'1" as well. But Shane Wheat, to be fair, this isn't the best of balls knocked in. It's just poor marking. They go zonal, they lose the runner. Center back does a great job here, redirecting this to the bottom corner. Parfait Mandanda cheats a little bit to the back post, gets himself in trouble. Cannot track back across the right side. And how good does it feel for Loudoun United? They are finally the ones out in front in this series.
The Akron native scores his first goal in 2020. He was signed midway through last year. And for Shane Wheat, one of 2 players on this team to start every game among the outfield players, gets a goal that perhaps provides Loudoun with the momentum that their season so desperately needs. Confident on the ball again. This time, though, a Mo's pass is a little heavy. Strong is closed down and fouled. And out comes the yellow for the first time tonight.
This is late. He's going to get in trouble for sure. It's so unnecessary, too. He's actually giving this ball away, Sam Strong, playing out of the back. And Loudoun and Dor instead. An overstep. He's got a tendency to really walk the wrong side of the line at certain points in time. This is definitely one of them. Not the best first touch, and late reckless challenge. Studs up the entire way. That's going to leave a mark for sure.
Assessed to Loudoun, number 9.
So Endor into the book.
Ali Undor, the 23rd minute.
Ryan Martin really wants to see more
Number 9,
from Endor
Yellow card.
He said that
23rd
for
minute.
what he is, his performance this year has been underwhelming, and he asks the question, Ryan Martin does, is it immaturity? Is it his mentality? Is he forcing the game? Had an opportunity against Pittsburgh on the weekend, or I should say in the middle of the week last week, to chip one over the keeper. That was his option as opposed to going for power. It was just him and the keeper, and he couldn't put it past. So you're wondering, what is it that can bring him over the top? Is it that he knows he's being watched overseas? So many questions, but yet he still continues to be one of Ryan Martin's 11.
Striking mentality. Always going for glory. Sometimes it can get the best of you. Conversely, for a team that's struggling to stick balls in the back of the net, 4 coming in, 3 from the spot, you have to find a way to start to light a fire somewhere. And if it comes from your number 9 up top, that's great. Someone else who I mentioned, it's a pretty good job of helping usher this game forward is Jeremy Garay. So efficient on the ball, as you alluded to, and he kind of carries a similar type playing style as Moses Nyman, who of course has been rewarded with a homegrown contract last year, currently with DC United. And you start to pair all these pieces together. Capable, yes, but confidence has just been kind of the main cause for concern over this resumption of play for Ryan Martin.
Well, Shane Wheat, who's 25 years old, who's one of the oldest players in the 11 today, certainly did what Loudoun needed to get them started on the right foot. Hartford Athletic is thrilled to have the Tavern Downtown and Republic Gastropub as restaurant partners. Be sure to visit their websites for more information on dining and takeout to support our local restaurants. Mustafa will chase this down the right side, and he can't keep it in play. Socially distanced crowd at Dillon Stadium. You've got I-91 in the background, just outside of proper downtown Hartford. Beautiful night. Hartford find themselves trailing. Loudoun winning the ball again in the midfield. Mo turns, gives it away. Swartz will usher it out of play. Swartz scored last year in the win against Loudoun, 5-1. You were on that game.
Had some good ones for sure. Just wonder what the response is going to be right now. Radi Jaidi is going to be more than frustrated based upon the current performance. Just watch where the buildups come from. Notice that you haven't gotten enough the midfield play, to be honest. They're so good at finding Danny Barrera being that link-up play to the front 2. But also the movement outside. When you start to drift here, you try and find Harry Swartz. Where's the shift coming from in the midfield with Jorgensen and Rogers coming back over, so that if it does break down or you want to switch the rate of play, step with them?
Mo too strong. Donda picks it up, not too far away from our first hydration break of the evening as the sun starts to set. Swartz down the right side. Flicked on by Green and out safely by Wheat. Hartford Athletic fans, make sure to get your tickets for our annual Match for a Cause on September 20th, presented by Stanley Black & Decker. This year, a portion of ticket sales and all proceeds from the match worn jersey auction will benefit Boys and Girls Club of Hartford. More information to come in the following weeks. Mustafa tracks the ball down as Silva boots it forward. Just down by Torres. Swartz by the way, did go into the book, as he can't keep it in play this time. This is what he went into the book for, as play continued.
He's just trying to make friends. Unfortunately, our referee Thomas Snyder felt differently.
Is that how you do it in 2020?
Seemed to work for me. Some pretty impressive rotation right now for the midfield. Said that if they wanted to be successful, you had to get more. Not just in balance, but different steps that you were willing to take. That 1-2 punch and you're holding midfielders.
Torres keeps his head up. Mel clears it to Amo. Savaria is hurried as Hartford try to apply more pressure. The first 30 minutes at Hartford have had just one shot in this game so far.
And already you're getting your playmaker and Danny Barrera wander a bit more than we've seen, and that's what happens when you're lacking overall possession. You want the ball at the feet of one of your #1 movements to go forward. Jorgensen and Rogers, if they're going to step high, it's going to be a different ask of them. You drop down deep, got to step in the space behind. Still looking to link up with Dixon and Johnson. We only saw that opening 10, and it's pretty much been Loudoun United ever since.
And one of the players who has helped this team lately has been Kairu Mustafa. We mentioned the journey that he took just to get here, and we wanted to give you a little bit more of an idea of exactly how he did that. He left from Niger in Niamey, took a bus that was 24 hours down, then had to take a boat to get across the border into Togo, where he was intended to fly out of the capital of Togo, Lomé, and then a 5.5-hour connecting flight west, or I should say east, to Ethiopia before a 13-hour nonstop flight back to Dulles. And then look, there he is with Ryan Martin and with the club after a long travel itinerary. What's the longest amount of travel that you ever had to do in a 24-hour span?
Ooh. Well, here's the thing, how you look at it, right? Is it actual time spent on a plane and bus, or is it the day of traveling itself? It's loaded, right?
I'll tell you from experience, the day itself takes everything out of you anyway.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's able to get on that pitch and run at the rate that he does just shows you how much energy he truly has, because that really takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it's difficult to do. I pulled right around an 18-hour stint where I went from, stick with me on this one, Mountain Time Zone to Central to Eastern, including 4 planes calling 2 different games. It was easy when you were a player. Everything was provided for you. You know, get on the bus, get on the plane, you fly right back to your destination. It's a little bit different when you're on this side of the TV. And
right, and I assume you crossed the international date line, among other things.
There you go.
Went around the world
Exactly.
in 80 days.
Yeah, that does something to your body for sure. Obviously, he didn't have to get right into gameplay, but it's easy to think, oh, you know, you got to get up early, get on a plane. Just think about the journey itself in terms of culturally what he's had to adjust to.
The only Nigerian player in the USL as Johnson springs free. Johnson stings the palms of Lefeve. First action really from Tyreek Johnson in this half. The Southampton product who goes down just outside of the box. Thomas Snyder says nothing doing. Johnson again. To the byline he goes. Inside and deflected away. Not cleared though. Jorgensen keeps possession. Hartford now trying to apply some pressure. with their second shot on target. Jorgensen to the middle. Johnson can't shield it. Amo
Great
finds
ball.
Mustafa. Endor running with him. Mustafa. Endor gets his toe on it, but he couldn't get enough power behind it. And the easy save for Mandanda. This through ball is cut out by Lefeve off his line. And you can see the confidence building for Loudoun. This is a ball that even a week ago, Mustafa might not have made this pass.
It's got to be all about the wide open spaces, and Elian Endor has to understand what his job is come completion of this movement going forward. Brian Martin always said about him that if he can do the simplistic things better, he's going to bring his game to a higher ceiling, and that's really where you get a good look at it, where all he has to do is just put this on frame. A little redirect, you're in full stride, the pace will carry itself. Instead, the two touches, you get yourself in trouble, not the exact look that you're going after.
Again, a chance to run for Loudoun with numbers in the center. Endor will take it on himself, and it's deflected out for a corner. That gives us a chance to thank our founding partners, Travelers at Hartford Athletic. Thanks to Travelers, presenting partner of our community champion program, children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford are able to come to the matches free of charge. This Bank of America corner kick, it was a set piece that allowed Loudoun to score their first goal. It's deflected by the first line of defense in Torres and out for another corner.
Loudoun will take a corner kick.
It was Shane Wheat in the 22nd minute. This one scalding over the goal and out of play.
Understanding what the coaching style is and what he expects of his squad. Roddy Jaidi is going to have some interesting words at halftime. Obviously still 8 and change to get us there. Everything that has been the greatness of Hartford Athletic so far in the 2020 campaign, just eluding him at this point in time. Even when they haven't been at their best, they've found ways to pick out little spots on the field and be better.
Endor in space. And at the last second, the defense got in the way, but he has been a threat, running straight down the gut.
And they're almost turning this little look going forward with Michael Gamble and Mustafa helping out Endor up top. Really challenging that back three. They're moving almost a 1v1 type situation or a 3-on-3 in group play. And that could definitely work for you. Again, if you can make sure that you all move together, it's a lot easier in transitional play, and they've definitely done that over the past 10 or so.
Gray, that's a good looking ball. Fawole, not sure what his intentions were. I guess he was just trying to get a piece of it to keep it in play. It's out for a goal kick. Roddy Jaidi talks about how he wants to get the most out of his players. He wants them to perform at the highest level. And he said during the week that the use of his wingbacks are key to the shape and production of the 11. And we really haven't seen much from the wingbacks in this first half. Swartz has tried to get involved. Torres, too, on the left side. They just haven't influenced the game the way I think Jaidi would want. Long diagonal ball, cut out. Silva.
And the main component of that is coming from your lack of production out of the midfield. And Alex Dixon dropping back in, but Danny Barrera has come much deeper. Arthur Rogers stepping in front. There's a good look at him. And with Barrera alongside Matt Jorgensen, got to find a way to start to connect the dots. order to pick up the play from Torres and Swartz. Got to give them opportunities, and it can't be these 40-yard balls diagonally across that are last-ditch efforts. I'm all for changing rate of play and location. You can spread Loudoun thin. Unfortunately, it's the buildup right here. Just notice, it's got to be quicker. Little fast touch, you go the other direction instead. Their thought process has been so slow, almost methodical in nature, to where the monotony of it all has made it pretty easy for Loudoun to sit back and let the game come to them.
Jorgensen is onside. Very few options right now for Hartford. Swartz floats it in. That's a good ball. It's cleared though by Wheat, but flag went up anyway. Hartford fans, be sure to vote for your Cigna Man of the Match on Twitter using the hashtag CignaMOTM. Strong tracks back. Mandanda being closed down. This is the third time that these two teams have played each other this year, Devin, and the fifth time that they've faced each other in the two franchises' history, both obviously being expansion teams last year. And Hartford have won all of those games. So, you know, you look at what this first half has been, and it's almost like Loudoun has sort of figured out what they've seen the first two times and made the adjustment.
That's one argument. And I don't disagree with you that their game plan's much better. Really, right now, what you're looking at is just execution on one side and lack thereof on the other. Hartford Athletic, if you watch when they're trying to build up, they have opportunities to get some momentum going forward, but the decision-making has been very slow. So you, instead of the 1-2 quick touches that we've seen in matches past, you're looking at 3 and 4. It slows the game down defensively for Loudoun United, allows them to regain their overall shape. And again, we asked them to be quicker in transition going forward. That's exactly what they've done. Get it that you're able to get the goal off the restart, but how many times have we seen the long balls over the top to endure with trailing runs by Gamble and Mustafa, just like this?
Well linked. Mustafa couldn't find the feet of Fuole. Silva boots it clear. Dixon's touch was heavy. It almost came to Amo. It was offside.
All in all, it's just a much better look out of Loudoun United, and I think everybody's quick to jump on them about what they're seeing in this season. And it's difficult for teams that are either a two-team or an affiliation with an MLS squad. People can go, oh yeah, well they have MLS players. It's not just that. It's players that are on MLS contracts is what you have to think of. So youngsters like Griffin Yao, Moses Nyman, that are looking to gain more appearances right now, they're with DC United. So they're not in this camp. Your bench isn't going to be as deep. The level isn't going to be as high. They had that at the end of last year, though. And you saw them get some really impressive results coming down the stretch. They took down Red Bull 2, Charleston Battery, St. Louis FC, Tampa Bay Rowdies. 3 out of those 4 teams made it into the playoffs. And you're talking about 2 of the teams that were talking points of, okay, maybe they might be able to make a run. They were competing with the best of them and were top 5 in the Eastern Conference with a record to close out the 2019 season. So you know that they're capable of getting it done. But when you don't have the luxury of some of those pieces, there's obviously, given the world we live in, a lot more variables moving. What's your response going to be? Opening first half, much better.
The message has been very clear that they won't be seeing reinforcements from DC United this year. Now 2 of, as you see, Mustafa is going to be cautioned after blasting the ball out of play after being whistled for a foul. It wasn't the foul that he was cautioned for. So two of the three front players for Loudoun, Al-Mustafa and Endor, are both in the book.
All right, it's just the tail end of it. Good battle on the far side. Gabrielle Torres had dropped back in, but frustration by Al-Mustafa boiling over. He's had a lot of work to do on that right flank.
Johnson and Dixon are trying to get on the same page. This is Alex Dixon, now Swartz and Green with a beautiful sliding tackle that does win a Hartford corner. Talk about for Loudoun, two of the draft picks from January are with this team and in the lineup tonight, with Lefeve, who was the 21st overall pick, and Fawole was drafted 42nd. Torres awaiting the whistle of Snyder, who's just trying to sort out some problems in the mosh pit around the spot. Four minutes of stoppage time presented by Brignol Vineyards.
What it would be to grab one just before when the whistle blows, especially considering the performance that has been put in so far, Spence. Sometimes that's all you need. Lackluster as it's been. Quick little kickstart, little talk at halftime, and then we go again.
Torres's service is a good one. It's cleared away. Kept by Silva. Johnson with a low roller. Lefeve was up to it. Hartford have come back on this ground this season. They trailed early in the game to Union 2 towards the end of July. It was 2-0 after 16 minutes. They scored 2 goals in 4 minutes to tie it just before the half, and then took the lead on Ever Guzman's goal in the second half. A lot of space for Barrera. And again, the flag goes up, and that's been a theme in this first half now. We've seen both sides get called off once or twice. Do you make a tactical change? Do you make a physical substitution? I mean, what's the play here for Radi Jaidi?
He's going to walk into the dressing room, look everybody in the eye and say, who wants to play? This is real simple. If you don't feel comfortable and you don't think you can get the job done, come sit next to me. Because I promise you, looking down the bench, plenty of players right now are more than willing to step in, whether it be Nagelstad up top. Wondrous performance so far in Norway. That's your Golden Boot winner in the second division recently. Dre Dees, Nicky Downs in the midfield. There's just so many things going in opposite directions right now. And Alex Lara on the back line. Everything has to be better from back to front.
That's nice from Swartz. It's Dixon, floated towards Johnson. Savaria gets ahead to it. Loudoun looked to be headed to the halftime locker room with the lead, something that from their perspective, obviously if you're Ryan Martin, you're happy with it, but it's also unfamiliar territory.
It's a learning experience. And that's what they're trying to do here. Just continue, put everybody through the ringer day in, day out. Doesn't matter if it's training ground, when you get into tactical sessions. Of course, right now you're doing battle on the road. And you find a way, as we mentioned, to just go with those building blocks. They've been able to do that so far. Everything that we've asked out of Loudoun United so far, they've been able to do. The key question for them has always been, can the consistency be maintained over the better portion of 90 minutes? The answer so far this season has been no. So as great as the lead is, Hartford Athletic, they will find another gear. Are you going to be able to come out of the dressing room at halftime with the same intensity that we, to be fair, saw out of Loudoun? The best so far was, right around the 10-15 minute mark, and they carried that through till about 35 or so.
Remember, Loudoun, they do have their first win of the season. That was against Red Bulls too, but it was a Red Bulls 2 side that was down a man for the majority of the game. That is the halftime whistle. Loudoun have their lead. Now they look to protect it. And Devin, a stern talking to, I would imagine, in the Hartford locker room.
That's being polite. I promise you, knowing the background and everything that he's capable of, that's being polite. You want to make sure that you motivate your players. And right now, he just doesn't have the same emotion that we've seen out of games past. Got to find a way. Alex Dixon, Tyreek Johnson, there's too much speed and talent not to get them more involved in this attack going forward. He'll say that. Ryan Martin, simple enough. Mimic exactly what went on in the first half, but the second 45 is going to be much more difficult. Blue-collar effort coming at you.
Well, Devin has highlights from the week's action. We'll take you through this one later. Halftime at Dillon Stadium, 1-0 to Loudoun.
Bravery has a face, a name, like Nancy, Daniela, or Carl. And same as everyone else on the block, Bravery has a family. The foundations of Cigna and New York Life introduce the Brave of Heart Fund, providing healthcare workers with peace of mind and financial support if they lose their life. They're out there, protecting our families. Let's protect theirs.
We don't just protect things. We help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
An office, a classroom, a gym. These days, your home is many things. And at Trinity Health of New England, we make it your personal setting for quality care. Our virtual care makes it easy to consult with your primary care provider, your child's pediatrician, or an urgent care provider from wherever you are. Get started at trinityhealthofne.org/virtual because wellness shouldn't wait. Trinity Health of New England. Virtual care anywhere.
Halftime at Dillon Stadium, Loudoun United, Hartford Athletic on a Sunday evening. And for a look around the rest of the USL during the week on Wednesday in the Eastern Conference, here's Devin Kerr.
Midweek Madness starts us off in the Eastern Conference, specifically Group F. Watch this, because this is a doozy. Up 2-0 in the first 11 minutes. Unfortunately, it's not Loudoun United. Ryan's Martin boys put up a quality fight. But Dos Santos in the 7th. Question, paging Colin Miller. Colin Miller, goalkeeper. Got to make a better save here, buddy. Your team didn't put you in a good spot, but you could have at least saved that one. 4 minutes later, Fernandez on the doorstep. That's it. Interesting enough, Loudoun United actually picked up a Della Yellow red. Riverhounds played the second half, a man up, couldn't score another goal. Bob Lilly happy though, said it was game management. Turn the page, Group H, Atlanta United 2, Miami FC, still not going with thee, still waiting for them to show me something. Problem is, they got put behind a doornail in about 23 minutes. Gurr in the 18th minute, Diop with the assist. Let's fast forward that to the 23rd minute. Diop from the spot. Walk over and apologize right now, because that was just darn right rude to Gamero. The good news is you have Romario Williams, and this guy can flat out get it done. 2 goals in 21 minutes. Mario Williams gets the brace inside the first half. Unfortunately, second half, a little bit lackluster. Couldn't get it going. That's okay. Let's have a little fun. You want to see goals? Let's go to the Charleston Battery North Carolina FC game. I feel really bad for what's going on right now in Group G with Dave Sarakin's boys. Could have been up 4-0 at half. Couldn't finish. They had a boatload of opportunities. Instead, 4 opportunities in the second half, 3 of which end up in the back of the net. Romario Piggott, Nikiu Daly, Zika Lewis got involved. And of course, the goal by Zarakostas in the 81st minute puts them away 3-0, 3 points. Everybody chasing the Tampa Bay Rowdies. However, good result on the road. 3rd longest tenured coach in the world, by the way, Mike Anhauser. That's a fun one. Look it up. I did. Wikipedia. They're never wrong. Last one. Louisville, Sporting Kansas City 2. The revenge game in Group E. Could they go down again? Could Sporting Kansas City 2 come back and take down the... Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. We all knew it wasn't going to happen. Come on. Cameron Lancaster, 11th minute. Corbin Bone gets the brace inside 36. But Napo Masoso is the guy who went all out here. Sorry about that, Dylan Cerna. You just got megged. Yeah. How about this assist to the back post? Greatness. And the 53rd, Masoso would finally get one. It's a bit tricky here. Well done by Brian Ownby. Leaves it. Not the greatest of touches, not the greatest of skill. Still in the back of the net. 3-goal victory, put 4 in the back of the net. 3 points. Lou City, nice to see in second place.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
Dr. Champus, the U.S. Soccer has recently instituted the Play On campaign. Try and explain what this looks like in the grassroots communities around the country all the way to the professional level.
Yeah, Mike, I think it starts first and foremost with each of our stakeholders, whether you're a club, a coach, a parent, a player. It starts with setting a tone. It starts with setting a culture and really setting realistic expectations, understanding that COVID is a virus is going to be with us for an unknown amount of time. The guidelines are very basic and fundamental. What Play On has really created is a single voice and something that all of us can point to as a safe and responsible way that our kids can develop, continue to play the sport, can come together in a very responsible way under the guidance of local, state, and national guidelines that really can be one that highlights our sport across the country and in the world. And Play On has demonstrated, I think, over the last 2 months, a very consistent message, and that hasn't changed.
Dr. George Champus, Chief Medical Officer for U.S. Soccer, thank you for not only your time now, but also the work you and healthcare heroes around the country have done over the past months.
Halftime in Hartford, 1-0 to Loudoun as Shane Wheat scores his first professional goal. We'll show you the highlights of that a little bit later on. Along with Devin Kerr, Spencer Siegel here with you. Take a look at some news and notes from around the league. You were on that game last night, Devin. What the heck happened in Vegas?
Whew. How long is this segment? How much time do we have to talk about it?
Our producer said we could go a little longer, so by all means.
Yeah, a lot. There was a lot that went on. You know, a bunch of arguments from both sides about the referees. There was some questionable, we'll say, goal calls in terms of whether or not it should have gone in or not. Was it offside? Let down defensively for Phoenix. They've always struggled in Vegas, to be fair. They went in with not the greatest of records as it was, and even goal differential. However, Junior Fleming's maintaining a massive pace offensively. Both he and Tyler Pasher currently ahead of the pace set by Cameron Lancaster in his 25-goal regular season record-setting 2018 campaign. Think about that one.
I mean, of course, what would it be without some records being chased in a 16-game season? These are a look at some of the finals in the Eastern Conference yesterday and the one game at halftime that's going on concurrently with ours, the Miami and Charlotte. As you see yesterday, what sticks out to you?
There were a couple things. Number one, OKC Energy FC is a shell of what I thought they would be. Good job by Sporting Kansas City, too, to get back in the win column, but you just have to wonder, is it going to continually go from bad to worse for John Pascarella and Energy FC? And good stuff by Birmingham Legion clawing back in. Nice to see 901 FC finally showcase some of the quality play we expected out of them, just couldn't finish it off.
Take a look at what's coming up later this week. You've got the game on ESPN Deportes with Vegas and Orange County, and then a bunch of Wednesday games, some big ones. Lou City and Indy is the one that I've got my eye on. Hartford have their next big test on Friday against Pittsburgh. But when we come back, we'll get you some halftime highlights, some halftime stats, and we'll get you ready for the start of the second half here at Dillon Stadium on ESPN+.
Ready to get that just worked out feeling? Planet Fitness is open and cleaner than ever. At some places, this is a power clean. But at Planet Fitness, this is a power clean. At some places, this is your workout space. But at Planet Fitness, you'll have all the space with extra room between machines. So while other places might consider this a warm welcome, we're ready to welcome you with one of these. Now open. Come in today.
Where some see a baker, I see an artist. I see Bridget of Bridget's Bake Shop, a Monet of muffins, a Cézanne of scones, a Leonardo of layer cakes. Bridget is a small business owner. Me, I'm the Hartford Buck, and I see nothing small about your small business.
With insurance designed for your small business, the Buck's got your back.
Bravery has a face, a name. Like Nancy, Daniela, or Carl. And same as everyone else on the block, Bravery has a family. The foundations of Cigna and New York Life introduce the Brave of Heart Fund, providing healthcare workers with peace of mind and financial support if they lose their life. They're out there, protecting our families. Let's protect theirs.
Ready to get that just worked out feeling? Planet Fitness is open and cleaner than ever. At some places, this is a power clean. But at Planet Fitness, this is a power clean. At some places, this is your workout space. But at Planet Fitness, you'll have all the space with extra room between machines. So while other places might consider this a warm welcome, we're ready to welcome you with one of these. Now open. Come in today.
Just about ready for the start of the second half. An athletic crowd that is excited to try and will their team back in half number 2. Let's take a look at half number 1 and how things played out. And Devin, early on, it was just trying to find some consistency. Loudoun really the team on the front foot.
Opening 5-10 minutes, it wasn't a bad start from Hartford Athletic, but there was a good response from Ryan Martin, and he understood that there was going to be space in behind for the likes of Michael Gamble and Mustafa on left and right respectively, but could they find a way to play out of the middle as well? That's where the growth was going to come from, and we would see that as the halves would go on. The question for Hartford Athletic was, when they started to counter, could the pieces that have made the most amount of impact for your team this season step up? Alex Dixon is one of them. Good little strike, touch little back in, falls over, and that's kind of been the way that Hartford Athletics' first half was. And you start to turn the page and say, okay, Loudoun's starting to creep into this game. I said, look, turn up the pace. You're going to get a much better look at this. Speaking of good looks, how about the first professional goal for Shane Wheat coming off that back line? Known for his big stature as a center back defending. This time, sticks one in the back of the net. Not often that you beat Mondonda. Take something special, and he's more than happy to step up to it. Alan Indoor had a couple of opportunities. It's the simple things, though. His coach keeps saying he's so good at providing you these large amount of metrics, but sometimes the little things get the best of him. It's exactly what's going on for their number 9 up top.
Yeah, not much that sticks out on the page here. Possession is separated by 1.6 percentage points. Both sides have won exactly 27 duels. The passing accuracy is 70% for both teams. It wasn't a pretty first half, really, to put it bluntly. And now when you come into the second half, the biggest change, I think, for Hartford, Devin, needs to be what?
Well, you have to be more efficient on the ball in terms of where you're making the mistakes. Now, they're at 70.7%. They're only at 71 on the season. So they're a team that isn't great at, we'll say, building up regularly. Now, they have good quality build-up, but they're not converting in terms of great passes in the midfield, moving off the back line. They get basically 60, 70% of the way down the field, and that's where they take their chances. That's why they've been so successful. The problem is tonight is you're seeing Paulitz, Sam Strong, Danny Barrera making mistakes 30, 35, 40 yards from goal. That's where they have not been very good at all. And I said that there would be changes made if you did not start to play well. Yeah, you're going to get one, 100%. Gabby Torres is going to step out, and you are going to get the debut out of Marcus Naglestad. The Norwegian that we talked about just picked him up. Actually spent his collegiate days here in the States, drafted by NYCFC back in 2015. Picked a bit of a knee injury up and has spent his entire professional career so far in Norway, and now an opportunity for him to come back home with his local ties and make amends.
And no Ever Guzman in the 18 today, and you see the opportunity for Naglestad. 29 years old, and a chance to make an immediate impact for a team that has come back from a deficit this season. On the other side, Loudoun have held one lead this year, and they got a win. That was against Red Bulls 2. Other than that, it's been tough sledding. We'll have to retake the second half kick. Hartford heading to the left. There's Naglestad as Torres departs. You would think with Torres, who was playing along the wings, that does incite the formational change as Naglestad plays up towards the top with Dixon. Tyreek Johnson has dropped back. The bottom of your screen, number 88.
That'll be the shift for sure. It's the easy one. Alex Dixon more than capable of moving to the exterior as well. This time, most recently, under Jimmy Nielsen and Steve Cook at Energy FC showed us that.
It just didn't look like Johnson and Dixon could get on the same page linking up as the two forwards up front.
They don't play poorly together, but with all the issues that they were having in the midfield, you're asking a lot of two players, pretty much in a 4v2 situation against Loudoun's back line, especially when Danny Barrera had come so deep to receive the ball. You'll get a real good look out of what the Norwegian is capable of. Radi Jaidi was pretty impressed with the relationship that had started to build between Alex Dixon and Ever Guzman. That, of course, has to step away now. Given your opportunity, what do you do with it?
Into the Hartford summer night we go, with Radi Jaidi's side trailing. You know, it's interesting, this is a team, Hartford, that picked up their first win in franchise history last year against Loudoun after starting the season with no wins, 9 losses, and a draw in their first 10 games. That was when Jimmy Nielsen led the team. Jose Angulo scored 2 goals in that win for Hartford at Audi Field. It just felt like after that win and their US Open Cup win earlier in that week against New York Cosmos that as a franchise they were starting to turn the corner, and they've certainly taken strides this year as Mustafa scoots around Silva and gets into space. But the pass he picked out was cut out by Paulitz.
You start 8 on the road. It's going to be difficult for anyone. And of course, going back, they were at the Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field. A little bit different vibe here.
Well, 8 games on the road, not to mention some of the opponents that they had to deal with. In those 8 games, it was a who's who of USL Championship pedigree. Finished the season with 8 wins to their name last year, 17th out of 18th in the Eastern Conference. So for 5 wins in their first 6 games, obviously the coaching change, it just speaks to a potential culture change and swing. This is a team that had 3 own goals in their first 11 games last year. It was just whatever could go wrong did. Seldom so far in 2020, though, have they had to really dig deep and find points where they're not to be expected, and they're expected going into a game like this, but 45 minutes in, they find themselves down 1. And Loudoun looked confident. Savaria over the top for Mustafa. Inside, cut out by Strong. Garay tries to keep it alive. Lestat tried to switch the field of play.
Just watch how long Radi Jaidi rides this slow start to the second half. Given the fact that he's already gone to the bench once at halftime, he didn't utilize one of those substitution windows. Remember, you get 5 in 3 different windows, so you have used 1 player, but he's still got 4 spread out over 3 more. And he'll go after it if need be.
Jacob Green, who Ryan Martin has emphasized the fact that he's grown tremendously so far this season at that left back position. That's been where he's played for the most part. Here's Green. 17 years old from Crofton, Maryland. Fawole, nifty touch. Green again. Fawole had bodies to his left, instead turns it over. Wheat being tracked down by Dixon, who wins it.
Just notice once again, Spencer, a late little challenge there on Alex Dixon, but even in the hold-up play, he's got no help. No one's stepping in whatsoever. And the long ball to the far side, and Tyreek Johnson is a prayer at best. And they're going to be rewarded as that late little tussle with Alex Dixon finally give him a chance to go long here, bring up some tall bodies, and reset in the box. That's exactly what they'll do. Get Mateus Silva, Sam Strong involved. Kevin Politz will stay home. Try and give Loudoun a taste of their own medicine.
Rogers curls it in, and it floats over everybody's head. There's a sense of befuddlement on the faces of all of the Athletic players as well. It's almost as if they feel like they've hit a wall that they haven't hit before. There's a lot of time left in this game, really, to swing in either direction. You could see an outcome where Hartford comes back and wins it. You could see Loudoun tacking on another goal or two.
These are the games, though, that you have to win. It's easy to say that, but the way that the group's set up, and especially the schedule headed your direction in the next couple of weeks, gotta find a way to get 3, especially at home.
Towards Johnson. He missed it.
Plenty from their fan base have asked, what do you think? Are we really that good?
That goes up on indoor.
And I've basically carried the same thought process that you have, where best team you've played, you've lost to, Indy. Albeit the scoreline a bit lopsided, to be fair. They pretty much made the mistakes on their own. Didn't do themselves any favors. And regardless of what the performance is tonight, then you have to face Pittsburgh Riverhounds. You're going to go twice in the span of 3 weeks and then turn it again twice in the span of 4 games. And as poor as Red Bull 2 has been, they always find ways to get better as the season goes on.
Jorgensen tries to cut it back. It falls for Barrera, and it's nicely swept away by Mel. They have such a large advantage on the second playoff spot in Group F, Hartford does. They're at 15 points with 2 games in hand on Red Bulls 2, who have 6 points. Red Bulls 2 have played 8 games. That's half the season. Hartford have played 6 games, not including this one. So it could be easy to fall into that complacency. Naglestad takes it. He's wiped out by Mel, and a chance from about 40 yards for Hartford to create. I think you've got those 3 games against Pittsburgh that you look at for Hartford. Let's say Pittsburgh goes into those games as the favorite and they take care of business in some form with the 9 points up for grabs. Hartford, although they might not care to admit it, would be happy with a second place finish and a playoff appearance for the first time in their franchise's history. That can work 2 ways.
Also understand that you're looking up at the 1 and 2 in Group E, which at this point in time you're playing Indy 11. And not the look that you're gonna want to go after here, but this is Mass Jorgensen territory for sure. One of the best dead ball strikers, not just strikers the ball in general, in the entire USL Championship. Seems like every single time he connects, it is a highlight reel, and from distance. Here you go.
Jorgensen right into the wall. Johnson wins it back. Pollitt's asked him to do a lot. Hartford Athletic would like to recognize another founding partner in Cigna, presenting partner of the Every Save Matters program, where for each save made by a Hartford Athletic goalkeeper, Cigna donates money to Team Impact, allowing children with debilitating injuries or diseases to join a college or professional team for the season. In 2019, Cigna donated $10,000 to Team Impact. Ted DiPietro is set to check in for Loudoun. Green keeps his run. It was flicked on by Gamble. Green again, gets through Swartz. It falls for Amo before Barrera sent it out of play. And that might be Michael Gamble's last action of the night. Indeed, here comes the 18-year-old DiPietro, who scored prior to the Shane Wheat goal in the first half, the only goal from a live ball scenario. That was against Red Bulls 2.
Not bad from Michael Gamble. Definitely seen better tonight than we have in some of the matches past. As we mentioned, he's so used to playing inside. Brian Martin electing to moving out. A little switcheroo with Ole. Now DiPietro comes in with what will most assuredly be just a like for like. Slot him into that left side, see if he can combine with Jacob Green. They've been pretty predictable in their movements going forward. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you can execute. 58 minutes in. They'll be happy with it. Still work to be done.
Fawole has been at his best playing at the top as a number 9. That's where he had his opportunities to score over the last 2 games. Green thought he could leave it for somebody else or perhaps let it roll out of play, and then he was tracked down by Nagelstad and has to surrender the throw. If you're Loudoun, you're up a goal, you've got 30 minutes and change to protect your lead. It's switch-offs like that that can bring Hartford back into this game. Green will make Hartford do it again. See Interstate 91 in the background. As the sun has set, those cars, it looks like Tron out there.
Great reference.
Johnson on Savaria. Nifty footwork. Tyreek Johnson gets his cross into the back post. It goes, it's met by a head, and it hits the side netting. It was Swartz, and it wasn't enough.
And go figure, Harry Swartz, standing at a massive 5'9", is the player that you're trying to pick out in this movement. Tyreek Johnson, watch the little 2v1. So good in tight spaces. Understands you just have to put this up, let somebody go get it. That somebody is Harry Swartz. No fear, Harry Swartz. Just could not get it on frame. Still not really impressed with what Hartford Athletic has been able to do here in the second half. I would expect more changes to come from Roddy Jaidi.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank Fresh Bev, the official cocktail mixer of Hartford Athletic. And if I could steal a line from the legend Peter Drury, Hartford could seriously use one right about now. Given away by Silva. Endor wanted it sent his way. Paulitz. Johnson comes all the way back. See Ryan Martin, who expressed confidence over the weekend. He knows how tough it is with the player overhaul. He wanted to fix the culture as soon as he came in. In fact, the game that Hartford won last year, the first win in franchise history, that was the last game before Ryan Martin took over for Richie Williams. Johnson. Blasted by Mel. So last year it was about Martin spending time improving the infrastructure. And now he talks about this young base and the guys that he has to play with when you play against teams that have veterans who have had long pro careers. It's just a different mix.
A little mismatch with Jorgensen on the near post.
Goes to the back post and it sails over everybody. The service just has not been there.
To be fair, neither side have been that great from these dead balls. Even the goal, mentioned it. Jeremy Garay whipping this one in. A little bit of backspin on it, low.
There's a look of dejection about Roddy Jaidi. Amo wins it back. Numbers for Loudoun. Amo, that's deflected and out for a corner.
They'll take their time the entire rest of the way. Put in a heck of a shift in the first half and more than willing to just slow things down here when possible. Good look at the corner. All the substitutes for Hartford Athletic. Quick little chat about the ball. No one has a ball from the helpers on the sideline.
Well, there might still be 30 minutes to go in this game, but Loudoun are in no hurry to restart play. Again to the back post. It is met by a head. Endor almost got a second deflection to it. It goes out for a goal kick. That was a decent chance.
Better service. Jeremy Garay. Nice little stunt to the back post, coming back across. Elian Endor twice now. Just a tiny little touch on a redirect and you're in. First one inside the 6 at the 30-minute mark. This time almost doubles it up, score line and time-wise. Look at the space on the right side, Danny Barrera. And again, quick little touch, and they're going to get lucky here because there's a ill-timed challenge on the far side, but as soon as he plays it to him, Barrera doesn't show. There's no help from Sam Strong on the right, and there's no check from either one of the forwards up top either. Harry Swartz had already received the ball, loads of space in front of him, but he had nowhere to go.
Easy for Lefeve. I mentioned how much this series has been dominated by Hartford. Heading into this game, through 4 games, Hartford leading on aggregate 14-4. (4-1 and 3-1 wins against this Loudoun side earlier this year. That takes a deflection and falls kindly for Endor, and it was met quickly by Strong. Just needed to be a split second quicker on the ball, Endor. One back by Swartz, and a slip from Green allows Naglestad to run. He'll look for Dixon, and it's too far again.
Sometimes there's just no magic, and it's starting to turn out that way. Feels like every single time there's a little glimmer, they take 3 steps backwards.
Savaria for Cudi Pietro. Working on Silva. Endor tried to dip it back to Amo. It's turned over. One right back. And that action will lead to a yellow. That's Barrera. The frustration is really starting to boil over.
He's making the referee aware of it as well. Little knocks, tiny touches after the play. Everything coming full circle for Hartford Athletic right now. Feels like Lady Luck was always on their side. Now they can't buy a vowel. Everybody out of sorts. Lack of communication. Positioning is off. Not efficient on the ball enough. Poor in build-up play. This is one of those nights as a player. To be honest, it's eerily similar to what you saw at a Phoenix Rising in Las Vegas. The difference was they were able to get a goal, even a second one, before the comeback started from the home squad. You're fighting that uphill battle. I said it was going to be a blue-collar effort. It's going to be much more than that. Time to get down and dirty and really go to work.
Fawole working hard. He's fouled. Silva went down 2. It's a free kick, though, for Loudoun. And it looks like Silva will have his name taken as well.
It's unfortunate because he does get some of the ball, but he's behind the attacker moving forward. Anytime you come from a restricted position, the referee's always going to have their eye on you. And this time the movement had already come on that far right side. Watch how Mustafa, the first touch here is what you're gonna like now, right behind, right there. Rides the entire left leg of Mustafa, ends up getting the ball in the end of it. Unfortunately, too much contact had already taken place and again came from behind. Let's see if there's anything in that bag of tricks for Ryan Martin's squad. Pad that cushion with just outside 20 minutes to go.
Garay stands over it. Man who was sent off in the game last year against Hartford. From a tasty angle. Low ball in, and wise to it was Jorgensen. Amo wins it back. Garay assesses his options. Di Pietro slips. Herrera tries to get creative. Johnson wins it, and looks like one of the Loudoun assistants got in the way. And he was just trying to, and now, yeah, there indeed. That's a caution that's been assessed, which you don't see too often, but I guess by all means, any way you can win a game if you're Loudoun.
I'm all for opening up the discussion on the sideline and having a little fun with the players.
Savaria.
Amo.
Endor. Alioune Endor deflected. Thank you to our partners who have donated their tickets back to the community to allow those who otherwise could not attend. We'd like to thank 4G Recycling, Citizens Bank, the Tavern Downtown, and BPS Lawyers. The second half has turned into one-way traffic. You would think Hartford was down a man. Garay. Back post. And Hartford fans, we do remind you that we'd like you to vote for your Cigna Man of the Match on Twitter using the hashtag CignaMOTM. 4G substitutions coming your way. Nicky Downs will spell Jorgensen. And Aiden Macias will come in for Sam Strong. Two midfielders making their way in. Rani Jaidi just trying something, anything, to get his team going. Fourth appearance off the bench for Macias this year. This is one of the longer ones. Usually come in towards the end of the game. Downs, who is a Connecticut product. His second year with the club.
You're going to have to really tinker what you want your shape to be. Don't be surprised if Harry Sports drops to the back line. Jimmy Nielsen used him there multiple times over the course of 2019.
Look at Fawole use his body. One time to Mo! What a strike! Something from nothing as Loudoun put their stamp on what could be a spectacular win and a spectacular goal from Elvis Amo.
Stretch the game, combination play. All of it on full display here for Loudoun. Watch him take this ball off his chest. Mustafa, great job in hold-up play. And though he doesn't get a touch on it, he allows the space to continue to open up. Everybody is eyeing Alioune Indoor. And when the ball drifts out, Elvis Amo steps right into the pocket, puts his laces on it. Player to watch? Yeah, watch me work. 4th on the season for Elvis Amo.
He put his stamp on the Loudoun County faithful when he was signed and then scored on the same day last year against Louisville. And some people have said, well, he scored 3 goals this season, but they've all come from the spot. That one was not from the spot. That was from long range, and Hartford are reeling.
I said coming in, he's an attack-minded player, and when you transition him into a holding midfielder type role, albeit an 8-10 type hybrid, it's going to take time. The transition is not seamless overnight, and he's growing into it, but he's been much better on the ball. You watch him and his ability to really think ahead of the game, understands where the space is going to be, quality touches, although this one gets away from him. Watch out.
Ball had nothing on it. Downs trying to make something happen. Hartford needed to happen quickly. Dixon with his back to goal, as has been the case so often tonight. Barrera tries to float it in for Swartz, and when it rains, it pours, because it looked like Barrera's little flick might have created a goal-scoring opportunity, and Thomas Snyder stops play instead of opting to provide advantage. Will be a free kick just outside the box.
How interesting is it that the substitute and debutant Naglestad has stepped in and is really asking for this. Normally, Mads Jorgensen, Danny Barrera are the two who like to have the conversation. You have the luxury of left and right footers right now. Watch the way that Lefeve sets up here. He's got to have at least 5 in this wall. He does go with 5, sitting right in the middle.
It's Barrera, and it was always too high. That takes us to our second half hydration break, which will allow us to look back at how we got to this point. 2-0, and it started in the first half. Shane Wheat with his first pro goal. Sun was still out, just starting to set, and Loudoun, what looked to be a great start to the night, might end up being the winning goal.
Poor marking on the back line by Hartford Athletic. Everybody just standing. That's what happens when you go zone. Fading in and out, not exactly sure who was going to take control of this match. Hold my water. Elvis Amo. From distance, pick that out. Look at the authority and confidence the young man has. Deservedly so. Fantastic strike.
Hartford haven't lost at home since last September. It's been almost a year. And I have to ask the question, Devin, the effort and energy put out by the 11 today, is it something more than what we're just seeing on the field?
Could definitely be. I mean, we're not in the locker room. We can only speculate, right? But with everything that's gone on around the club, and we talked about it briefly at the beginning.
In the faces of the players right now, it just says it all. There's dejection, complacency. And for a team that's 5-1, you can see the look on that man's face. There's so much promise to this season, but with it being such a short season, it can also go downhill very quickly. That man has the goal of the night.
Well, the way he struck that, don't be surprised if he steps himself into the running for goal of the week. Beautifully hit, a little bit of English on the outside, catches it in stride. Enough power where even if you get it on frame, it's going to be a rough one from Ondanda, yet alone the fact that it's drifting away from the goalkeeper the entire time.
Fans, visit hartfordathletic.com to see our pub partners and make sure you pay a visit to them and support our local restaurants and bars. This year, our pub partners include Tavern Downtown, Republic Gastropub, and City Stream Brewery in Hartford, TK's in Danbury, Roberto's Log Cabin in Lebanon, and Callahan's Bowl-O-Rama in Newington.
I miss bowling. You a bowler?
Love bowling.
Yeah. Carried a quality average for a little while, but haven't been on the lanes, a little rusty.
I was always a fan of, I'm not a fan of the cosmic bowling because I like the sport itself, but I'm always a fan of that red pin in the front because then you can win the free game.
The color's freaking you out?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a good night for that man. He has to be pleased with his squad's performance tonight. Garay swings it out wide. The overlapping run from Green. Mustafa has switched to the left side. Mustafa has gone down now, and Hartford want to play through it. And now, Thomas Snyder will stop the play. He's been running all over the pitch tonight. Hebo Dewey, who has played in every game this season, will continue that trend as he comes on as a substitute. It is the man lying on his back who has seen his last action.
I thought this was one of the brighter points last time out against the Riverhounds. I think you would probably in agreement. I like them moving him up into the midfield, primarily stationed on the back line. Hebo Dewey. Not unfamiliar for him to step up a little bit, but Ryan Martin has kept him in that back four. Rotate him on the right or the left, usually on the left side, and 9 minutes to go. Get a little run in, loosen up the muscles, see if you can have a little fun. Hasn't been the same for the home squad. They have been struggling from start to finish. Takes something special to get out of here with any type of points.
COVID-19 has taken a toll on everyone, and small businesses are no exception. In an effort to boost local economy and support food security in Connecticut, Hartford Athletic is happy to announce their event, Shop for a Cause, benefiting Food Share Connecticut, as Dixon goes down in the box and commits the foul. For more information on Food Share Connecticut, please visit hartfordathletic.com/shop-for-a-cause.
He rolls up on this ankle. To no fault of his own from Alex Dixon. He's trying to make a play, but watch him come up behind Timmy Mell. Oh, that right ankle just lands on him, comes right through it. Does everything right, the center back. Alex Dixon just going to ground, and his momentum comes back through. Tweaks it.
Mel had to leave the game on Wednesday early. He went down, Timmy Mel did. Left the game in the 33rd minute on Wednesday against Pittsburgh. Ryan Martin said he had a bad migraine, and this is a direct quote, he had a bad migraine and couldn't see. Good to see him back up on his feet. If you've had migraines before, you know how bad it can be and how much more difficult it is to play a sport or really do anything. Back in the 11, he's had a really good defensive performance tonight. Johnson and Fawole dueling. It's just not like Hartford to go without scoring. In fact, it hasn't happened yet this year. It's a team that has really been stout defensively. They've only allowed 17 shots on target, too, which entering play tonight was the 3rd lowest in the USL. And their 2 1/3 goals per game were 3rd only to Pittsburgh and Phoenix.
Definitely hasn't been a fun week for the Athletic boys. So with about 5 minutes to go, what kind of comeback could this ignite? Danbury hit the last one. Why not let the substitute Naglestad fancy himself instead? Was really impressed with Simone Lefeve and his positioning. At 6'9", you pretty much have the luxury of choosing any direction that you want. See him pivot his hips a little bit here. And that far post looking not as enticing if you go near on the right foot.
Last one sailed over the crossbar. This is Naglestad! What a strike, and Hartford have life.
Some games you need something, right? It can come from anywhere. Tonight, the substitute, Naglestad. Look at this. Egerson's 2nd division, 26 appearances, 25 goals. You want to question whether or not he's capable of getting it done in the States? Answer's given. Now 5 minutes to go. Does he have one left in him? Hartford clawed their way back within one.
They have a renewed sense of vigor. Can they pull something from what looked to be done and dusted Loudoun's victory? Here they come again. Johnson into the box. Barrera couldn't keep it in play, and it goes out for a goal kick. Hartford Athletic would also like to thank our founding partner, Stanley Black & Decker. Stay tuned each week for the Stanley Innovative Play of the Game. That's coming up later. And from Hartford's perspective, the innovative play of the game just happened. How can they muster up some more innovation? Loudoun not sitting on their heels, though. You'd think that we'll see at least 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. Douay. Macias chasing after the ball. Garay releases Green into the box. Flicked on by Fawole, but picked up by Mandanda.
Got to go up tempo here. Final minutes. Down with what seems to be another issue with cramping. Look at all the space, though. Got to pick it up.
Barrera sees Dixon. Can he get to it? And look at this. Dixon claims of handball. And look at the spot that this one will be set up in. Look at the man holding the ball.
You know who's hitting this. Everybody in the stadium knows who's hitting this.
Green cautioned.
You can use that to your advantage as well. You don't want to take it out of the ball striker's hands, but this distance, you're about 6 or 7 yards further away, a bit closer to the far end line. Not that it's that much, but it is a much taller ask. Run it back a second time. You cement your name in Hartford Athletic glory if you do.
He went to Lefeve's right, or excuse me, his left. Picked out the right corner last time. Naglestad to take it off the post. The rebound is in, and Hartford have found their equalizer. Alex Dixon scores the goal. Marcus Naglestad is the player of the game. What a night at Dillon Stadium.
Just stop it. Stop the press. Poor performance is what the headline should have read. Instead, look at your savior. From distance, almost grabs his brace. Another playmaker, Alex Dixon, on the doorstep. Deflection off the woodwork. You bag two in the span of minutes. In back-to-back dramatic fashion. Hold on, folks. Couple minutes left here.
They couldn't pull a third out of this, could they? There's a lot of time left in this game. And now for Loudoun, it just can't end soon enough.
There's good news if you're Hartford Athletic and bad news if you're Matt Jorgensen. It looks like you've been relieved of your free kick duties. Marcus Naglestad, spectacular strikes. Obviously the first one ends up in the back of the net. The second, right into the upper corner. Comes off. Looked to be under part of the crossbar.
Changes coming for Loudoun. Iramuse Momo comes on for Savaria. And Christian Sorto will end Josh Fawole's night.
I feel like I'm reliving the Phoenix Rising Las Vegas Lights game all over again.
Bignell Vineyard stoppage time, 5 minutes tonight. I wouldn't go anywhere for those 5 minutes. Naglestad. Barrera ushers Johnson to his left, multiplies his options inside. Swartz sends it into the box. Lefeve there to play it. And Loudoun are happy to slow this game to a crawl. Still time though. The 3 points are surely up for grabs. Sordo out wide, Green. Downs wins it back. With his head up, finds Naglestad. And he's off to the races. Floats it over the top. Barrera. Downs. Down goes Downs, and it's another free kick, but this one's from too far out, right?
He hits this, I'm out of here. Forget it. They can call their own game finish in the spectacular fashion that they're trying to do right now. This is much too deep, but it does give you the chance with Danny Barrera. Whip one in. I'm gonna drop it right in between the 6 and the penalty mark. It's a good look at it. Loudoun will hold a high line. And you have to find a way in traffic to drift off the backside a little bit. I've been really impressed with Naglestad's ability to recognize where these pockets of space are coming from. But from a dead ball situation, does he have the same sort of glory on the receiving end?
Barrera has a team high 6 assists. He'll float it in towards Silva. And a whistle from Snyder. I believe that was called a foul.
He didn't like the little elbow that was thrown by Marcus Naglestad right at the top of the 18.
Ball hitting the post ultimately was inconsequential. Is there a bow that can be put on this gift of a game tonight? Downs has it. 90 seconds left from what has turned into an enthralling 90 minutes. Nagelstad is in. It's Marcus Nagelstad. There's nobody back to greet it. It's cleared away by Momo. Johnson is pulled. He wins it. He wants to keep going. Johnson then goes down, and he touched the ball with his hand a couple of times. Johnson is claiming that the foul came first, so if you're playing the advantage, then why would you call the handball?
It's a reckless challenge on the backside of it as well.
Trey Dees with a 4G substitution for Dixon. You see he's being tugged at there. Referee chose to play on. There was one handball. I think there was a second one in here, though. No, maybe not. One last rush. Hartford trying to pluck victory from the jaws of what surely seemed to be defeat. Nagelstad has it. He'll wind one up. Nagelstad looking for a spot to hit. He can't. Downs, we're past the added 5 minutes. Tipped over the bar by Lefeve, and that will be a corner kick.
Gotta go quick here. Referee's gonna give you the luxury of setting this up. And I get it, but how about Danny Barrera? Why not? Everybody else is getting in. I'll have a go. This is in. If not for the outstretched hands of Lefeve. Last one from the depths. Can you steal this away from the masterful performance by Loudoun United?
Before Barrera can send it in, Snyder speaking to those inside the 6-yard box. Surely the last action tonight. Danny Barrera's outswinging ball headed away by Dewey. Barrera one more time in, and it's comfortable for Lefeve, and that should do it. The points are split tonight, but one team is certainly happier than the other. It ends 2-2 at Dillon Stadium. Tonight's Cigna man of the match has to be the substitute, Marcus Nagelstad. He was spectacular coming on tonight and single-handedly provided the draw.
It's a heck of a debut. Said changes had to be made. Was high on him coming in. And all of a sudden, took about 40 minutes for him to get going, but found a way to make his mark on this match. What a strike from distance. And then we'll give him the hockey assist. Alex Dixon will claim the secondary one to get them the point.
Our innovative play of the game brought to you by Stanley, Black, and Decker. It's Nagelstad, and it's beautiful.
How good is he going to be a pickup for this team, especially since the front two weren't getting it going. Ever Guzman out. Great performance by the substitute.
Well, we'll wrap this one up for you on the other side. 2-2, our final tonight.
We don't just protect things. We help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
An office, a classroom, a gym. These days, your home is many things. And at Trinity Health of New England, we make it your personal setting for quality care. Our virtual care makes it easy to consult with your primary care provider, your child's pediatrician, or an urgent care provider from wherever you are. Get started at trinityhealthofne.org/virtual because wellness shouldn't wait. Trinity Health of New England. Virtual care anywhere.
Full time at Dillon Stadium. It ends 2-2. Devin Kerr alongside Spencer Siegel here with you tonight. First, let's take a look tonight at our save of the game brought to you by Cigna. It was early. You see Gamble got in and had his chance. That was the first of what turned out to be many chances tonight. A game that started slow, and as we get you ready to take a look at the full-time highlights, we also want to remind you folks to download the official Hartford Athletic mobile app available for Apple and Android phones. One-stop shop for all things Hartford Athletic. Go to hartfordathletic.com/app. First goal, 22nd minute, and it was set pieces tonight, Devin.
Jimmy Garay, Shane Wheat, back of the net, first professional goal. Take it any way you can get it if you're Loudoun United, and they were off and running. They really dictated the tempo of this entire match until the tail end of it. And you think, okay, 1-0, can they squeak this out? They would need to. They'd get it to 2. Elvis Samo, watch this strike at the top of the 18. Sit down. I mean, take a seat with how well he hits this thing. You put this on your highlight reel, you don't need to put anything else. Just enjoy it. Beautifully done.
Game was over. It was 2-0. Hartford had nothing going for themselves, and then all of a sudden, along comes Marcus Naglestad. If you don't know his name, better learn it.
25 goals in 26 games in his time in the second division in Norway. But could this one goal right here have been any more important for a team that was struggling to find any positive play at all? And a second one, no! Thought it was. Alex Dixon helps it in. 2 goals in the span of 4 minutes. And as poor as their performance was, they're going to get out of here with a point. That does something for a psyche of a team. And the metrics, they were knocked out in almost every single one, except for goals. Goals win games, and they weren't able to get the victory. But right now, with this comeback, Jaidi's going to be frustrated. But walking into that locker room right now, he's going to be proud of his boys and say, listen, you guys showed quality character to battle back. Even if it was only for the better portion of 5 to 10 minutes, I'm proud of you. Take the night off, take care of yourselves, and we'll get back to work come practice.
It ends 2-2, Hartford and Loudoun, as Loudoun are next on the field against Red Bulls 2 back at home. Meanwhile, for Hartford, they'll play again a big game on Friday night against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. For our entire crew, for Devin Kerr, I'm Spencer Siegel. Thanking you for joining us tonight. We sign off from Dillon Stadium. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.